Hey guys, it is Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Today we're going to begin our look at T.N.T. by AC/DC. So the rhythm guitar parts of this song are super easy. So you're not going to have much trouble doing it, and that's what we're going to really concentrate on in this video. We have the end of the video, I'm going to take care of the outro section as well, which gets a little crazy. But we're going to have a second video that is just going to focus on Angus's guitar solo. All right, so look for that one next. So let's start here. We're going to start with Malcolm Young's rhythm. Now, if you're trying to play along with the actual recording here, the recording is probably recorded in standard, but when the whole transfer went or whatever, the recording, the tuning got slightly lowered. So when you play along, it's going to sound out of tune. And it's just the way it is. You can have a half step down guitar, it's going to sound flat. You have a standard tune guitar, it's going to sound sharp. So it's kind of in between there somewhere. So anyway, there are all versions of this song that you can play along with on YouTube when people have actually taken it and made it into standard. So you can hear it, the audio in standard, and follow along. So I'll recommend checking out one of those. All right, so let's just start here with have the low E power chord, the low E open string with the second fret on the A and the D. Then we have this G power chord. Now how you're going to do that is you're going to just play one finger there on the G string, the G note there at the third fret on the low E string. And you're going to use the bottom of that fingertip, the kind of patty part there, right padded part, to mute the fifth string. And then you're going to have the open D and the open G with it. So you want to mute that A string in the middle, so we have this. To the A power chord, and that's just open A string, second fret on the D, and second fret on the G. And then from there, you're going to play this, just the single note version of that G, just the bottom note, the slight bend, back to the A power chord, a little slight bend again, and back to the low E. So we have this. All right, so that is the main riff that starts the song, and then the vocals come in. And with the vocals, we basically have the same riff going, except sometimes instead of just doing the E power chord, he'll do a full E major chord there. So we have this. All right, so just listen for that. You'll hear that just thrown in there every once in a while instead of just the E power chord. And we end that riff with just a G chord, power chord, into the A power chord, let it sustain. All right, and then we have the actual chorus riff, which uses the same exact chords. And that's just the A power chord. Little single note there on the third fret on the low E, into the E power chord. Now sometimes you'll see, especially live, he'll play the full G chord on that button. But usually it's just going to be, because you kind of just keep it nice, simple and direct. And it's going to end the same way here. All right, so those are the two main riffs, just the verse and chorus. It's just pretty simple stuff. All right, but from there, we have a little bit more challenging during the outro section. Now, Malcolm Young's part sounds like this. Chaos ensues. So it's basically just starting with that E chord, just the bottom four strings, then the power chord at the first fret of the low E, then the second, and we're going to just work our way up, one fret at a time, all the way up until we get to the 19th fret power chord. So we have this, so it's just full quarter notes, whole notes at first, so they last for the whole measure for the first four, and then it's two measures of just eighth notes. So each one lasts 2 beats. And then you're going to play on the quarter note 1, 2, 3, 4. When you get to the 8th fret, start just going 1, 2, 3, 4. Just keep going up. When you get to that 19th fret, just kind of tremolo pick it. And like I said, there's a lot of noise going on. And then we have just, you're going to end it with this, the E major chord, sorry. Now Angus Young's part, he does unison bends in between that, so there's this kind of effect. So anyway, his part by itself sounds like this. Fun stuff. All right, so what's going on there? We just have a unison bend here at the 5th fret on the B, and you're going to be bending the 7th fret on the G with it, so they match. And then, once again, we're just taking away off the fretboard, so 5, 6, 7, 8. Now when you get up here to where the 9th fret, you're not going to play that note on the B string, you're just going to play 11. This is when it starts doing 8th notes. So that's 11, bending with some vibrato, then 12, 13, 14, and then we're going to go back to the unison bends at the 13th fret here. So that's just quarter notes now. It's on the upbeat. So 13 with that, obviously the note 2 frets higher on the G, bent up a whole step. 14, 15, 16, 17. He does it twice at the 18th fret. And then but we're starting to get into some, really the noise that he does there. He does some tremolo picking by just kind of bend up. I don't have a 22nd fret on this guitar. He does on his SG. On the B string, just bend up that 22nd fret up a whole step and just do some ear piercing. It's a lot of noise. Anyway, so it's not really going to be recreated exactly. And then once again, you just end with that E major chord. All right, so stay tuned for his guitar solo. That's a lot of fun.